Okay, let's get started. Hi, everybody. I'm Ross from Church Windows, and today we're going to be showing you the mass edit feature um, within Church Windows membership. Um, what the mass edit feature allows you to do is edit the information in one field of many records at once or everybody at once, instead of having to go through each person individually and changing it. Um, so in order to, uh, and because this can be such a, you know, it's a very powerful feature because obviously it can affect everybody in the database at one time. Um, the first thing you want to do before um, performing a mass edit is once you open up membership, click on Special Functions and then Settings. And then up here in the kind of the top left section, there's this checkbox that says Backup Member File before Mass Edit. You want to make sure that's checked. Oh, sorry about that. It looks like I had, lost sound for a second there. Let me just start again. Hi, everybody. I'm Ross from Church Windows. Today we will be working on um, mass edit in the membership field or in the membership database. This allows you to change information um, potentially on every record at the same time within membership, or only a selected people that you choose. Um, since it is such a powerful um, section of the program, what we always recommend before um, doing any mass edit is just confirming that the system will make a backup when you perform the mass edit. So to find that setting, you click on Special Functions and then Settings, and then up here in the top left, there's this little checkbox that says Backup Member File before Mass Edit. And what that does, as long as that's checked, each time you perform a mass edit, it'll make a backup of what the data looked like before the mass edit. So in case you don't like the results or you accidentally screwed something up, something like that, you can always restore to right before um, the mass edit was made. So now that we have that checked, we can then click OK to close out of that. And the mass edit can be found by clicking on either members or visitors and opening up that screen. And then you click on options up here in the top left, and then you go down to mass edit. And now you can change either, you know, any family information like addresses, city, state, zip codes, that sort of thing, or you can change individual information. Um, One of the more common things that people do mass edits of um, is replacing, say, like the abbreviation of street, which is ST, with the actual word street, or vice versa. Um, so in order to change that, what you can do, where it says field here, this is where you choose what field within membership you want to change. It has all family and individual information. We can, as we scroll through. But in this case, since I want to edit the um, the ST for street, I'll just choose address 1. And then the search text, I will put ST, and then I'll replace that with street. And then if I click go, Let's say replace ST with street. If I say yes to that, say 9 records changed. And then here's another point where you can basically undo what you just did. You can click cancel and then it'll go back to normal. Or after I click OK, so it says 9 records changed. Then after I close out, it syncs, and then as you can see here, street, ST has been changed to street, and any household in the database that had ST now says street. See if I can find another one. Yep, here we go. So this other household, even though we weren't on that household, now says street instead of ST. And that's one of the more common changes that can be made. Say someone went through another common thing that happens is, say if you have an area code split where you have your area now has 2 area codes instead of just the one. What you can do, instead of doing the whole database, if you click find and then say in the home phone, you click 614 and click go. Oh, whoops, forgot. Home phone 614, and this asterisk right here tells us to only look at households that have where their household record begins with 614. Click go. We get that result. What we can then do, because I think a lot of splits, I think are typically where like these first 3 digits, after the 614, after the area code, that those people will stay the same, but anybody above 5 or 6, they get changed to a new one. So what you can do is any records you select on this. So I selected these 7. Only these 7 will be affected by your mass edit. So if I click mass edit here and tell it click the selected records only checkbox, only these 7 will be affected. So then I can go field, and this time I want to choose home phone. And with the search text, I can click 614 and place with 740, for example. If I click OK, 614 with 740, and click yes, 7 records changed, and it will be. And as you can see now, they are changed here. Then it close out, it syncs the databases, and then everybody has only the houses we told to change the home phone from 614 to 740 are affected. And Albertina brought up a good question. Is if the find replace is case sensitive. For example, if someone's address is First Street, will the new address be changed to First Street? What you can do, in cases like that, I'll show you how to do that. Go back to options and then mass edit. So if I do choose one, in the case, or if you want to make sure you're not affecting any words that have ST within them, you click ST, and then what you want to do is check match whole word only. So what that'll do is that'll only affect ST when it's by itself. If it's FIR ST as in first, because it's part of a word, it will skip those. So to change that, so you want to make sure that's checked when you if you have things like First Street and that sort of thing within your database. And then you can also change individual items. So say you need to change people, anybody who has, all the people who have withdrawn as their reason for termination to transfer with an area, for example. What you can do is you can click on Options, Mass Edit, and then Field. You can go to Reason for Termination. And then when it's a field that has a drop down, like Reason for Termination does, you know, they'll have it, instead of being able to type it in, you can search through the drop down what information is there by clicking on a little drop down, and you have your different codes. So you can select 2 and replace with 3. Then if you click Go, so you replace 2 with 3. And in this case, you don't have anybody with that, so no records change. So let's find somebody that, just replacing that with 3. Looks like we don't have anybody with reason for termination in the record. But that's how you can change from one to another. Let's change child to adult. For example, mass edit, family relation, child to adult. Click Go. Replace C with A. 17 records changed. Click OK to apply them. As you can see, this Angela Altoff went from being marked as a child to being marked as an adult. Now, if you realize, oh, I didn't mean to do that, you can undo that by going back to Options and then Mass Edit. And then if you click Restore down here in the bottom right, it'll say, if you proceed, a backup will be restored, and then it even tells you when the backup was made, and it warns you all the membership data in both the member and visitor files entered since then will be lost. So if you say proceed, you say yes, restores the files, you can close out, and it goes back to child. Alright. Let me look here. We have had a couple questions pop in. Johanna was asking how I highlighted those different items. So what you can do when you're on the Find grid, if you click on one to highlight it, you can then scroll down. Like, so if they're in a row, if you hold the Shift key on your keyboard and then click on the last person in the row, it'll highlight all of them. And then that's how you select those. Cindy is asking if they can change groups and classes. Let me double check that. I know we can change some aspects of the groups and classes, but that one I actually don't know the specific, if we can change the, okay. Yeah, unfortunately we can't change the groups and classes they are entered in. We can only change like the start date and like the fields within those groups and classes, it looks like. And then Christina was asking if it does not automatically change, if the family relation field doesn't change automatically from child to adult when they turn 18. No, it doesn't, since the family relation is an optional field. It's not automatically affected by birth date, since that could also just not be filled in either. So that has to be changed if you guys use that field. mentioned that showing the description on the mass edit screen, like when we were looking at reason for termination, currently it doesn't have the description, it only has the codes. Um, I believe that's something that they're working on in a future release. Until then, the only real thing would be the best bet would be to know what codes you're switching and what those descriptions are for those codes before you go into the mass edit. Let me close out of that. Um, Karen asked about updating the school grades. There's actually its own special function to advance the school grade. Um, it will advance everybody from K through 12 to the next rung up. Um, so you can just do that here instead of doing the mass edit. It's kind of like a mass edit that advances everybody up one grade. So I would use that. If you have questions about that, give us a call. Um, and then Pierce brought up a good point where if you change ST to street, it could also potentially change like state route to street route. Um, and that's true. There's really, unfortunately, not really a workaround for that at the moment. Um, I guess it just hasn't come up much when I've done this with people. But that's a good point. Be aware of that, essentially, if you're changing street to ST to street. But you can also do it with road, drive, that sort of thing. You just have to be aware of what other fields are within the data, essentially. Pam is asking if there's a way to look up a qualified blank field, like when someone entered termination dates, but not the reason for termination. Not within this screen. The only real way you could do that is by running a report, um, where essentially you could put in reason for termination is blank and termination date is not blank. If you have questions about that, I would give us a call. And yes, Carol, it'd be the same kind of issue if you have a road called St. John or something like that. That could potentially be changed to um, um, Street John. Um, Another issue I've seen a lot of people have is when putting in the city state, um, they put in like like the whole state name instead of just like the abbreviation or the instead of Ohio it would be OH. Um, or say if they put in OH lowercase, if you want to change all those to uppercase, you can do that within the mass edit as well. So you can go into mass edit, find city state. You can search for OH, and if you click match case here, it'll only look for OH lowercase and replace all those with OH uppercase. Replace one record changed, then close, and then now you can see it changed it from OH lowercase to OH uppercase. It's another thing you can do with mass edit if you need to capitalize things correctly and that sort of thing. Let's see here. Do we have? That's pretty much all the information I had. Anybody else have any other questions? give you guys a minute or two to fill out any other questions you guys might have. Okay, Candy is asking, under city state, it automatically saves all your entries and you um, delete them. I'm guessing you mean the maintain um, city state list. Um, whoops. Um, so what you can do is you can go down and say select Gahanna, Ohio, and just select that one, and then click OK. And what that should do is delete that particular um, version. So essentially, you just need to check it in this list and then click OK, and that will delete it. All right, I am not seeing any more questions coming in. And just so you guys are aware, this is being recorded and it will be put up on the website within the next week or two, I believe. So if you guys missed any bits of it, or if someone someone came in and distracted you, or if you had to answer the phone or something like that, it will be put up on our YouTube page. Within the next couple weeks, and then you'll be able to watch them there, or go to our website under the new version resources or the support blog, and go to the link and follow the link there, and you'll be able to watch them as well. Other than that, we will, keep signing up for the webinars. Hopefully, you guys enjoy these. Other than that, you guys have a good day and have a wonderful weekend. Thanks. Bye.